Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome to you, our LLM graduates, your family and friends, and to the Berkeley Law faculty and staff and our LLM students. Graduates, we know how hard you've worked to achieve your success, and we celebrate your achievements. But we also know how much support you've received from your loved ones, those that are with you today and those who cannot be here, and we congratulate them also. At this point, I'd like to introduce our honored speaker, Dean Erwin Chamorinsky. Erwin Chamorinsky became the 13th Dean of Berkeley Law on July 1st, 2017. Prior to assuming this position, he was the founding Dean and Distinguished Professor of Law at the University of California, Irvine School of Law. Before that, he was a professor at Duke University and at the University of Southern California Law Schools. He is the author of 11 books, including leading case books and treatises about constitutional law, criminal procedure, and federal jurisdiction. He frequently argues appellate cases, including in the United States Supreme Court. In 2016, he was named a fellow of the American Academy of Arts and Sciences, and in January 2017, National Jurist magazine again named Dean Chamorinsky as the most influential person in legal education in the United States. Please welcome Dean Chamorinsky.
Thank you, Susan, for that incredibly kind introduction. Dear class of 2021, congratulations on your graduation. I know that this has been an unusual summer of instruction, but I thank you for your unfailing patience and understanding. I wish that we could have an in-person ceremony together in the Greek theater. I'm having technical difficulties. I wish we could have an in-person. Can you still hear me okay? I'm getting error messages.
We can hear you, Erwin. Yes.
Thank you. I apologize. I'm getting error messages on my screen. I wish we could have an in-person ceremony in the Greek theater, but I hope that the fact that we cannot be together in person today does not lessen the joy of your completing your LL.M degrees. You have lived through and gotten your LL.M degrees in the midst of the worst public health crisis the world has seen in over a century. But you have shown that you can adapt, persevere, and excel despite great obstacles. I hope that throughout your career, you will continue to make a difference. I know this is what commencement speakers and deans at commencements always say, but I must tell you, it feels different today. My sense is that now, more than ever, this country and the world are going to need lawyers to uphold the rule of law and to ensure justice. In so many countries across the world, we see rulers bent on taking away basic freedoms and who are undermining the most essential notions of the rule of law. Over and again, we hear people say that someone should do something about an injustice. Now you, with your law degrees and your LL.M degrees, are the ones who can do something. It is a time when many feel discouraged about the American political system, the political system in other countries, and the chances for progress. But a look at the sweep of American and world history show enormous gains over time in freedom and equality. To pick a simple example, it is just a few years ago when some of you were in law school that finally gays and lesbians were accorded marriage equality in the United States and also many countries throughout the world. That occurred because of the courageous efforts, creative efforts of lawyers. I believe that overall, the future will bring more freedom and more equality in the United States and throughout the world, even though it may be slower in coming than any of us want. The late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said it best when he remarked that the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. These advances, though, will not happen by themselves. Restrictions on freedom and equality from those vulnerable among us must be fought and fought against hard. Advances in freedom and equality are going to require even greater battles. You, as lawyers, are essential to making this happen. As lawyers, you have the chance for tremendous power to take away lives or to save them, to protect freedom or to compromise it, to protect our environment or to aid in defiling it, to help companies do good things or to assist them in doing bad things. With your law degrees and your LL.M degrees, you have the chance to make an enormous difference in people's lives in the world. Having that ability means you have a duty as lawyers. Please do not squander it. Don't make excuses for yourself for failing to use your talents and your energies to make this a better world. I know I speak for all of the faculty who have taught you when I say that we expect great things from the LL.M class of 2021. Your time here is done. Go now and make us proud.
Thank you, Dean Chamorinsky. Every year, the graduating class selects a faculty member to be faculty speaker. This year, they chose Professor Sean Farhang. Professor Farhang is the Elizabeth Jocelyn Bolt Professor of Law and a Professor of Political Science and Public Policy. His research interests focus mainly on civil litigation and the role of litigation and courts in statutory implementation, with a particular interest in the political and institutional forces that shape it. His first book, The Litigation State, won the American Political Science Association's Kammerer Award for the best book in the field of U.S. national policy. His second book, Rights and Retrenchment, received significant critical praise. His work on the institutional and political dimensions of American civil justice has also appeared in numerous social science and law journals. Prior to his academic career, he was a plaintiff's lawyer in civil rights and labor litigation. His teaching to both JDs and LL.Ms focuses on adjudication, including civil procedure and evidence. Please welcome Professor Sean Farhang.
Thank you very much, Susan. Can you nod if you can hear me so I can get a little confirmation? Okay, great. I was LL.M class of 2021. Thank you for inviting me. I was deeply touched and honored at the invitation to speak today. This class includes students who took courses with me since I started teaching in the LL.M summer program the summer before last. So in a sense, you were my first LL.M cohort at Berkeley Law, and we supported one another through challenging times. When I was first offered the opportunity to teach a semester's worth of law in a little over 2 weeks, I thought it was a joke. Brains can't absorb that much law that fast, I thought. You just can't teach the last class on Monday and give the final exam on Tuesday, I figured. 3.5 hours a day of evidence or procedure or business associations or whatever, 3.5 hours a day, 5 days a week would at least lead to severe migraines, if not a life-threatening brain hemorrhage. And what sane student would possibly submit themselves to such outrageous medieval trials and expect success? Well, I've read your exams and you defied my expectations and succeeded ostentatiously in an extremely challenging program. Family and friends, rigors such as these are not accomplished alone. We can only do it by leaning on those around us in many ways, large and small. And let's face it, 3.5 hours a day of evidence or procedure or intellectual property or whatever can take a toll on one's normally pleasant temperament. So please forgive them. It wasn't their fault. And the upside is that you can now call in all the promises that they made about what they were going to do if you would just support them a little longer to finish the program. And you should call in those promises before they start their next job. Teaching in this program has been a uniquely fulfilling experience in my career. And this is so for a number of reasons. The incredible diversity of the student population, the privilege of teaching lawyers already in the midst of substantial and interesting careers, the bounty of the talent that you all possess. I'm grateful for how much I've learned from you, as I have taught many of you about the strange ways of American litigation and adjudication. You have taught me a great deal about alternative approaches taken in other legal systems. And that has made me a better teacher, both to LLMs and JDs, and that has made me a better scholar. Your collective insights make the classroom more cosmopolitan than any I've ever experienced, either as a teacher or as a student. And as a result, teaching you has been an antidote to the kind of parochialism that threatens some of us who focus on the United States. Most of you I've known only on Zoom. Last summer, as I prepared to teach evidence on Zoom, I was filled with dread. Making that class lively and interesting can be a challenge, even in a live classroom environment. It seemed impossible on Zoom. What I failed to anticipate was how high you would rise to the challenge. Over the last 2 summers, our time zones spanned the early morning to well after midnight. Some of you drank coffee and some of you drank wine. I met your dogs and cats. I met your infants and grade school children. Most of you kept your cameras on, and for that I was grateful. I peered into your living rooms and kitchens and offices and backyards and even neighborhood cafes. And in that environment, you brought your game to a learning process that is heavily dependent upon serious preparation and readiness to engage. You answered my questions, even the annoying ones about fine points of law, and you propelled the discussion with your own insights. Rather than descending into the Zoom abyss that I feared you would, you strode over it. To my surprise, the common project of learning law through the pandemic brought us together with a singular purpose across the globe to create a sense of community in the classroom that in many important ways, I can honestly say, surpassed what I have ever felt in normal times in the live classroom. So for that, don't get me wrong, I'm happy things are returning to normal. But for that, I say thank you. Congratulations on all that you've achieved and that you will achieve.
Thank you, Professor Farhang. Now we turn to the student speaker. Carlos Davila is a Mexican lawyer, IP and evidence law enthusiast, and a partner at Baker McKenzie. During his student tenure here, he has developed a reputation for sharing his appreciation of tequila and mezcal. Please welcome Carlos Davila Panish.
Thank you, Assistant Dean Wiseman, and thank you, Berkeley Law, for organizing this wonderful event. It is hard to follow the stage after the heartfelt words that Dean Chamorinsky and that Professor Farhang have shared with us. But nonetheless, I've taken the preparation to do that with my orange juice with a twist. It is particularly difficult at 8 o'clock in the morning, Berkeley time. So thank you for being here. Under true Berkeley law fashion, this is a challenging speech because I have to give it under a certain amount of time, just as if we were taking an exam. So in that regard, when preparing for this, I wanted to focus on 3 specific reflections. First one is gratitude. And as Professor Farhang said, and Professor Commencement as well, we haven't done this feature by ourselves. So it's important for us to take a moment of appreciation and thank our friends, our peers, our coworkers, our family, our spouses, our special ones and loved ones in that they have been with us throughout the whole summer, and both of them. In this sense, I'd like to take this moment for each one of us to reach out and say thank you to those persons that were the most supportive to us. Could be in person or could be on a text message if they're away. Particularly for me, I want to thank my brother Luis, my sister Lisbeth, and my mom, because without their help, I wouldn't be here. Especially after what has been a very challenging summer for us. So, gracias Luis, gracias Lisbeth, y gracias mama. As a second thought, I wanted to echo what we have heard about our resilience and adaptation as a class. This has been a truthfully complicated circumstances to take on this challenging summer. We have to learn a different system, a different legal system. We have to dominate it in a way to achieve what was expected of us as students in a very challenging program. So for that, kudos to you as my cohort, because I've seen how much you have excelled and how much you have really put your efforts into making the most out of this program. Whether it was evidence, whether it was IP, whether it was torts, remedies, you name the class, you did it. And you should be very proud of yourselves because what you have done on this, under this duress is quite complicated. So for that, I cheer to you for the great amount of work that we have put into this and how we have achieved this remarkable feature. Finally, and most importantly for me, I would like to highlight the culture of friendship that we have forged over this summer and the previous one. It has not been easy to develop camaraderie with the circumstances that we're dealing with. Doing that on Zoom is even far more difficult, but we have done it. I have seen it in the classes that I have shared with you, and I'm proud to say that you have been my peers and that we will be friends, not just for a season or for a reason, but for the years to come. Because that is the other part, the other key part of what this program is all about. The friendships that you forge during the duress that you face as an LL.M student at Berkeley Law. So with that, I want to share with you a quote that I found with the modern French philosophers, Thomas Van Galter and Guillaume de Cristo. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it ever happened. With that, I'll remain your true Mexican friend that you can count on for years to come. Congratulations, class of 2021, and cheers. Thank you, Berkeley Law.
Thank you, Carlos. We now turn to the presentation of awards for Best Written Memoranda and Best Oral Presentation. Please welcome Jody Kalova, the Director of Legal Research and Writing for the LL.M program, who will announce the recipients of these student awards.
Greetings and congratulations to all of our graduating students. You and your loved ones must be very proud of this great accomplishment. I'm here on behalf of the Legal Research and Writing faculty to present a select group of students with the awards of Best Written Legal Memorandum and Best Oral Presentation. Legal research and writing at Berkeley Law is intense. We demand a great deal of effort from the students. They improve their common law reasoning and analysis and build their skills in written and oral communication. As the final assignment, all LL.M students write a 15 to 20 page memorandum. This is a very demanding task, requiring students to perform legal research to find the most relevant cases, interpret a complicated statutory scheme, perform analogical reasoning using case precedent, and organize their writing in a cohesive manner. Students must master the intricacies of US legal writing conventions, which can be quite strange coming from a different legal system. They also must demonstrate an effective writing style with clarity, concision, and proper use of writing mechanics. In addition to drafting a challenging memorandum, each student delivers an oral presentation. These presentations cover a diverse range of legal topics. The professors evaluate the presentations for substance, style, and technique. I will now announce the awards as determined by the professor of each section. These were very difficult decisions, as many of our students did an outstanding job. First, Best Legal Memorandum. Fatima Albeder, Louisa Egley, Akinola Agunshakin, Lucas Pirot, and Marion Weiler. Now, Best Oral Presentation. Anne Gortz, Yiji Xiao, Hashim Raza, Sylvan Toma, and Marion Weiler. Congratulations.
We now turn to recognize students who have earned certificates of specialization. Berkeley Law recognizes that many students come here to gain expertise in a specific area of law, and we recognize their focus and dedication through these certificates. This certificate allows students to prepare for or deepen their professional practice as legal advisors to businesses, business-oriented NGOs, and to government entities. The following students have developed a background in fundamental areas of business law and have demonstrated a breadth of knowledge, deep expertise, and a foundation for professional practice. These students received the certificate in law and business. Next, we honor the recipients of the Law and Technology Certificate. This certificate allows students to prepare for or deepen their professional practice at the intersection of law and technology, affording students substantial flexibility to adapt their course of study towards a range of career paths. The following students have demonstrated successful completion of a course of study in intellectual property law, privacy law, and other technology-related areas of law. These students received the certificate in law and technology.
We now move to the conferring of the degrees of Master of Laws to our 45 candidates. This moment culminates in intellectually rigorous study by the students who are receiving their degrees today. We look forward to the amazing things that they will accomplish in their legal careers, and we are so proud to call them graduates of Berkeley Law.
I now proudly present each of our graduates who has given permission for us to include them in this graduation ceremony. Danish Aftab. Fatima Al-Bader. Vida Akanlinsi. Carlos Davila Panish. Shilpa Satish K. Dinavi. Victoria Deepla. Louisa Egley. Amani Elyan. Katrina Frame. N. Gortz. Giannin Hosley. Yijai Yumi Xiao. Edita Ilsewich. Alexandros G. Kazimirov. John Cruchy. Chenyuan Lee. Bruno Luz Morera. Haik Malshazian. Seanwan May. Akinola Ogunchikin. Lucas Pirot. Hashim Raza. Tim Saltz. Angelina Shkiar. Maria Soli Bravo. Silvan Toma. Sue Ustun. Thomas Van Gameren. Wang Hui. Jade Wood. Chen Joan. Chashuai Chang.
Esteemed Berkeley Law LL.M candidates of the class of 2021, by virtue of the authority that is vested in me by the President of the University of California and the Chancellor of the Berkeley campus, I confer upon you the degree Master of Laws, and with it all of the rights and privileges thereto pertaining. Congratulations.
Yay! Everyone can unmute now.
Yay! Congratulations.
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 Congrats, guys.
Congratulations.
Congratulations,
everyone.
Congrats.
Congrats,
Congrats,
everyone.
Greece.
Everyone.
Bravo, Victoria.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Hey.
Great.
¿Ya nos vieron?
Thank you, Dean Chamorinsky and Professor Farhang.
Oh, yeah, unmuted.
Thank you.
So how is everybody going to celebrate today? Akinola's going to dance.
Absolutely.
So we are going to have a graduation party with my daughter and son who also graduated. So yeah.
Oh, congratulations.
Well, that's a big party.
Oh. What did they graduate from?
Hey Sue. Hey Tim.
Hey, Hashem.
Congrats.
Yeah, congrats, everyone. Go Bears.